Gru, the lovable villain-turned-hero from the Despicable Me series, has a colorful past filled with various misdeeds and criminal activities. While his journey from supervillain to a loving father and hero is heartwarming, his actions would have significant legal consequences if brought to justice. Let's watch the various crimes Gru would be charged with and the potential legal repercussions.
Cheese ray! Cheese ray! Cheese ray!
Don't cheese me, bro.
Theft. Gru's criminal career is marked by numerous high-profile thefts, the most notable being the theft of the shrink ray and his audacious plan to steal the moon. These acts of grand larceny involve significant planning and execution, targeting items of immense value and technological importance. Such grand larceny would result in serious legal charges, given the scale and impact of the thefts. If brought to justice, Gru would likely face severe penalties, including long-term imprisonment and substantial fines, reflecting the gravity of stealing highly valuable and potentially dangerous items. These thefts underline Gru's initial willingness to break the law on a grand scale, his quest for notoriety and personal gain. Conspiracy. Gru's elaborate heists, including stealing the shrink ray and planning to steal the moon, involved detailed coordination with his accomplices, Dr. Nefario, and the Minions. These actions demonstrate a clear case of conspiracy to commit theft. By working together to strategize, gather resources, and execute their plans, Gru and his team engaged in a collaborative effort to break the law. Conspiracy charges would be levied against Gru for his role in organizing and directing these criminal activities. If brought to justice, Gru would face significant legal repercussions, including additional prison time and fines, for his involvement in orchestrating these grand schemes. The charge of conspiracy underscores the premeditated and collaborative nature of his criminal endeavors. Kidnapping. Gru's abduction of the three orphan girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes, under false pretenses to facilitate his plan to steal the moon, constitutes a serious crime of kidnapping. Although his intentions eventually change, the initial act of taking the girls from the orphanage and using them as part of the scheme is a clear violation of their rights and safety. Kidnapping charges would reflect the severity of forcibly detaining minors for personal gain, highlighting the unlawful and dangerous nature of his actions. If brought to justice, Gru would face severe penalties, including a lengthy prison sentence, for placing the children in harm's way and using them as pawns in his criminal plot. This crime underscores the extent to which Gru was initially willing to go to achieve his nefarious goals. Endangerment. Gru's use of Margot, Edith, and Agnes in his heist to steal the moon not only constitutes kidnapping, but also child endangerment. By involving the girls in his dangerous criminal activities, Gru exposed them to significant physical harm and psychological trauma. From taking them on hazardous missions to leaving them vulnerable in perilous situations, Gru's actions put their safety and well-being at serious risk. If brought to justice, Gru would face charges of child endangerment, resulting in severe legal consequences, including imprisonment and the loss of custody rights. This charge highlights the irresponsible and reckless nature of Gru's initial disregard for the children's safety in his pursuit of criminal endeavors. Terrorism. Gru's plan to steal the moon, a scheme that could have had catastrophic consequences for the Earth, would be classified as an act of terrorism. The potential disruption to global tides, climate, and ecosystems highlights the extreme recklessness and danger of his actions. By attempting to manipulate a celestial body for personal gain, Gru engaged in behavior that threatened the safety and security of the entire planet. If brought to justice, Gru would face terrorism charges, which carry some of the most severe legal penalties, including life imprisonment. This charge underscores the gravity and far-reaching implications of his plot, reflecting the significant threat his actions pose to global stability and public safety. Destruction of property. Gru's various heists and schemes often result in significant destruction of property. Whether it's causing damage to buildings while stealing the shrink ray, using explosive gadgets, or the collateral damage from his attempts to steal the moon, Gru's actions leave a trail of destruction in their wake. This reckless behavior not only incurs substantial financial costs, but also poses risks to public safety and disrupts the lives of innocent bystanders. If brought to justice, Gru would face charges of vandalism and property damage, leading to hefty fines and potential prison time. These charges highlight the widespread impact of his destructive tendencies and the legal repercussions of his disregard for the property and safety of others. Illegal use of weapons. Gru's extensive use of advanced and often highly dangerous weapons, including the freeze ray, shrink ray, and various explosives, constitutes illegal use of weapons. These devices, often utilized without any legal authorization, pose significant threats to public safety and security. Gru's deployment of these weapons during his heists and schemes not only causes destruction and fear, but also violates numerous laws regulating the possession and use of such technologies. If brought to justice, Gru would face severe penalties for unlawful possession and use of weapons, including substantial prison time and fines. These charges underscore the dangerous nature of his arsenal and the legal ramifications of using such weaponry outside the bounds of the law. Animal cruelty. While the minions are often seen as Gru's loyal helpers, their treatment could be construed as exploitative and abusive if they were considered sentient beings under the law. Gru frequently puts the minions in dangerous situations, subjects them to hazardous experiments, and uses them in his various criminal schemes without regard for their safety or well-being. This pattern of behavior could lead to charges of animal cruelty, reflecting the unethical and inhumane treatment of his assistants. If brought to justice, Gru would face significant legal consequences, including fines and potential imprisonment, for his exploitation and mistreatment of the minions. These charges would highlight the need for ethical considerations in the treatment of all sentient beings, regardless of their origin or nature. Fraud. Gru's criminal activities often involve deceit and deception, constituting fraud. Using false identities, disguises, and elaborate ruses, Gru deceives others to achieve his goals. Notable examples include tricking Vector to steal a shrink ray and misleading the orphanage to adopt Margot, Edith, and Agnes under false pretenses. These fraudulent actions are designed to manipulate and exploit situations for personal gain, violating trust and legal standards. If brought to justice, Gru would face significant penalties for fraud, including imprisonment and substantial fines. These charges emphasize the unethical and illegal nature of his deceptive practices, underscoring the broader implications of fraud in undermining trust and integrity in various interactions. False imprisonment. Gru's actions often involve detaining individuals against their will, constituting false imprisonment. One notable instance is when he trapped Vector in his own fortress using the shrink ray and other devices, preventing his escape and holding him captive. These acts of unlawful confinement without legal authority violate the personal liberty and rights of those imprisoned. If brought to justice, Gru would face charges of false imprisonment, leading to significant legal repercussions including imprisonment and fines. These charges highlight the severity of restricting someone's freedom without due process, reflecting the importance of legal safeguards against such arbitrary detentions. Violation of airspace. Gru's various high-flying escapades, including the use of his personal aircraft and other advanced flying machines, often occur without proper authorization or regard for aviation regulations. These unauthorized flights, especially those involving covered operations or criminal activities, constitute violations of regulated airspace. Such actions pose serious risks to public safety, disrupt commercial and private aviation, and breach national security protocols. If brought to justice, Gru would face charges for the unauthorized use of airspace, resulting in severe penalties including fines and potential imprisonment. These charges underscore the critical importance of adhering to aviation laws and regulations to ensure the safety and order of the skies. Assault. Gru's numerous confrontations with adversaries frequently involve the use of physical force and advanced weaponry, leading to charges of assault. Whether using his freeze ray, engaging in hand-to-hand combat, or deploying other gadgets, Gru's actions often result in harm or the threat of harm to others. These aggressive tactics, intended to incapacitate or intimidate his opponents. If you found this video of Gru's hypothetical legal repercussions intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.